水飲む？
なんでだろう。上野くんはすごく自然に私の近くに来てくれる。
A Bouquet for an Ugly Girl and Should You Watch It? Of course, like all of these videos that I make, should you watch it or not is going to be dependent on what your tastes are in particular. I can only make a recommendation based off my taste, and it may or may not align with yours. Here's what I'll say though. A Bouquet for an Ugly Girl definitely has potential, but I will put it in the category of cute but boring. Now, when it comes to shows like this reminds me of another anime. I don't know if it came out last season or 2 seasons ago, but it was called, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was called like Honey Lemon Soda. And it was going for like romance comedy, again, with another girl who was, unsure of herself and always second guess. And, this boy can't possibly like me type deal. Very much in that realm. I would say that's what this one is. And for me, that one was really boring. Again, cute. And for some people, just depending again what your tastes are, cute may outweigh some of the other things. It might be so cute that you feel like, it's that inexplicable feeling where you still feel good watching it, even if maybe it didn't make you laugh or maybe it wasn't like super drama filled. Now with Bouquet for an Ugly Girl, you can see where it is, right? It features this girl named Hana Tabata, which I actually really like her name, Hana Tabata. I really like her name quite a bit. So I thought that was, I like her name. Now, for her, she is what you would call traditionally ugly, but you would hope somewhere in the show as it kind of goes on, you hope that she has like not a renaissance, but like you hope that she has like a glow up of sorts, because she seems kind of like ugly by choice in a way. At first, when I first saw the preview, I thought she was ugly and fat. She's not. She might be like a little chubby, like a little bit, but just in the standards of the way that the other girls are depicted. She doesn't seem fat at all. It just seems like the way that she dresses, she just seems maybe a little, she got a little extra more than the other girls, but definitely not fat, which is good. So I think that really she just needs like a glow up, but I think she's kind of ugly by choice. What I mean by that is hairstyle, makeup choices or lack of makeup choices, glasses versus contacts, longer, like really long skirt versus, shorter, mannerisms. Like people could be ugly just depending on kind of like how they kind of upkeep and hold themselves, not necessarily because like, oh, like you're completely, like just like you're visibly ugly. She's more of just background character, which could change. So you have that, and for her, at least within the context and the concept of the story, is she meets this other guy, and for him, his name is like 𝐒𝐚𝐽𝐻𝐿 or something like that. He is the polar opposite, right? Popular guy, has a lot of friends. People like kind of are really attracted to him. The opposite sex is really attracted to him. People are leaving him letters and stuff, and he's going to kind of be the light in her tunnel kind of thing, to where he doesn't quite grasp that she's ugly and unpopular. The only thing he sees is a girl who's taking care of flowers, and somebody who's in his class, and somebody that he wants to kind of reach out to subconsciously, which ends up having him do those things. And in the episode, as the episode goes on, he sees her getting like, bullied in a way by some other girl, stepping out. And she was like, oh, I'm gonna make that 4-eyed girl do my task. Who talks that way anymore? But hey, maybe in school, someone still does that. And he comes in, he puts a cape on, and he comes to help her with flowers and stuff. And basically he's just trying to reach out that hand of friendship. And at the end of the episode, the girl who is the opposite of her, pretty girl, whatever, but probably still very nice, sees them interacting, and you could tell that there's gonna be some, maybe not with that girl, but there'll probably be some turmoil there, to where this Ueno guy kind of like keeps reaching out to her, and it's probably gonna be like feel good, to where maybe she gets friends based on that. And then probably midway through the show, there'll probably be like some kind of drama, to where something gets misconstrued or something gets taken out of context, and then she goes back into her black hole once again, and then it's gonna take Ueno getting her back out of it, and then maybe, maybe they'll both realize that they have feelings for each other by the end of the 12 episodes. That's kind of the writing on the wall that I see based on atypical things that happen in these kinds of shows. Now, for me, the things that keep me along with shows like this is the comedy. And there was one moment within the first few minutes of the show, she's in the bathroom reading her shoujo manga or whatever. And I forget exactly, what she said, but she was she called out and she was like, oh, what do you think, chat? And it did make me laugh. But among the 24 minutes or whatever the episode ran for, that was the only time I laughed. I was like, oh, it's going to be mostly boring. So because of that, what keeps me around with these types of shows is cute, decent concept. We've seen it before. The only difference here is she's a little uglier than most, and the third thing would be comedy for sure. The things that would keep me around personally is comedy. And I think there's going to be a lack of that. I think there's going to be comedic moments and there's going to be comedy, there's going to be comedic writing, but it's going to be it has to hit. And whether it hits or not depends on your sense of humor. And for me, if you were to tell me there was more than one funny moment this show, I'd be like, you're a liar. But the reality is there was funny moments written. It just didn't do anything for me. I was just sitting there blank face watching the show. So for me, I would say for my taste and for this being really cute and really being based on that and probably being an atypical story, for me, I can't really recommend it. Should you watch it? I would say no. But if you really like cute anime and you don't mind, repetitious stories with, a different brush of characters on it, and that cuteness has outweighed shows before, and if you really like shows like Honey Lemon Soda, A Sign of Affection, 𝐒𝐿 Can't Communicate, those are this would be the category of shows I would put it in. If those are really your speed, which two of the three of those I really liked, Honey Lemon Soda I hated, then I would say, yeah, give this maybe 2 or 3 more episodes, see how you're feeling. But for me, I'm not going to watch past episode 1. This just wasn't one that I want to dedicate my time to each week. It's going to be mostly boring. I'm not going to have a good time watching. If I didn't have a good time watching from the first episode, which should make the best impression on me, then I'm probably not going to enjoy 2 or 3 or 4. So that's how I feel. That's my opinion. Let me know your guys' opinions down in the comments below. Are you watching? Will you continue? Will you give this 2 or 3 episodes? Did episode 1 make a big impression on you? Let me know that in the comments. And if you were thinking about giving it a chance or you did and you're like, not my speed, not my thing, let me know that in the comments too. And of course, my friends, I'll see you guys next week for more. Well, I'll see you for more summer anime as the season goes on. And I'll see you next week as, this week go the next week, whatever. If you're in the US too, also happy July 4th. All right, my friends, have a good day. Peace out.